Jazzcast Pros.
So, the qualities of being a father, what does that take? What does that look like to most of us, especially black men or brown? What does that look like? Is it the amount of money you have? Is it the amount of times you say, I love you? Is it expressed enough? Are you vulnerable with the ones you love, meaning your children and, hopefully your wife? Is it something that is expressed enough that even your actions dictate your words? These are things that's of great quality, and these are things of great admiration in fatherhood, in manhood. However, it's been tainted, tarnished, broken, damaged, and misled. But the disrespect should not and will not be tolerated or accepted. Welcome to Father Torch, the podcast to help you, the new and renewed fathers, cope with the anxiety and stress of fatherhood so that you can be the father you wish you had. I'm your host, Ra, founder of Abimelech Foundation and artist, a father of 9. My mission is to help you reclaim your power and ease your concerns of being a father in today's social climate. The topic today, the qualities of being a father, intended for fathers who struggle with ungrateful children. This is a subject that most people avoid, most men don't talk of, and when they do talk of it, it's a little, at times, can be eccentric. I hate to say it that way. I was one of them. Didn't want to speak on the qualities because I myself was not trained or properly informed of the ins and outs. Although there are many materials, there's many books, but no one can teach you how to be a father or the qualities which can be interpreted in many ways. However, qualities is something that you are born with and enhance as you gain experience, wisdom, and knowledge. However, in these day and times, our elders and elders before us have taught us many wrongs when building such qualities. And I don't want to mislead or badmouth the lessons that are already there in existence. However, must be fine-combed or braided properly. I use that terminology just to distinguish pure heart from the blackened. There are good fathers. There are so much men out there who would not even recognize or acknowledge of the qualities in which they possess. In fact, we live in a world that feasts off of this, that tears you down as a man. As a father, to have these qualities of which I will speak on is considered weak. It's considered a sign of disloyalty to whoever you pledge your loyalty to. Well, when I say that, I'm saying there's some men out there that would turn their back on the children just to look good in unfaithful eyes to people who don't even value their life. That shame, all for fame, and that glamourity and the likes. However, I'm not going to dwell on that too much because we can be here all day with that. But what I will say and what I will voice my opinion on is the topic of intended for fathers who struggle with ungrateful children. Yes, children who are ungrateful. They treat their fathers with such disregards and empathy, lack of it. Whereas as long as the father has money, good old dad, swell dad, man, my dad is the shit. But when the money run out or he cannot do the favor or the act that you believe a father quality should be, you shit on him. You disrespect him. You belittle him. He's not even worth calling him father. I find it disgraceful. I find it so disrespectful. There's so much of us out here being fathers, being damaged, all because we can't acknowledge the fact that the people who are raising our children or we're separated from teach our children to disregard us because they can't hurt us no other way but through our own blood. And then the children, without knowing no better, it's kind of a double-edged sword, but without knowing any better, follow the trend of putting you down, the father, because he's unable to live up to the hype, the unrealistic image and figure that you think a father should be. Never mind his qualities of protecting you, loving you, embracing you. Never mind those things. They emotionally damage you. Men in particular damage you. And then family members and others who should know better tag along, not realizing that you're destroying the child. Because who is she or he without their father? No more than who are they without their mother. We have too much this trend and this lifestyle of putting down the one soul in your world, in your life, that will advocate for you, embrace you, love you, protect you, even from yourself, that you're so happy to disregard and disrespect, all because of materialistic and worldly things. Never mind that he loved you from your birth, from before you reaching this realm of flesh. He loved you. And all he asks is respect, understanding. All he wants to do is protect you. His teachings and methods, I admit, some of us can be harsh. Some of it can be hard. But one thing he won't do, we won't teach you, is how to kill you. We teach you because we see the world for what it is. We experienced it. We experience hardship. We experience depression, trauma. And although we try our best to prevent these things, sometimes we cause more damage than good. I admit, a lot of us, we may mean well, and our lessons, our ability to express this, it's not always clear. Because we're still working on our own shit. That's the realest thing I can say. We're still working on our own shit. But the disrespect should not and will not be tolerated or accepted. And those who do accept it, I pray for you. Because it's a time bomb waiting to explode. And whatever horrific thoughts and emotion that goes through your mind at that time, I feel sorry for whoever, man, woman, or child. The qualities of a father goes far beyond just simple showing respect. You must embrace his dignity, his authority, all these things, these qualities that make him man in the first place should be honored and respected. However, the flip side of that is that a lot of us don't know what we're worth. So we allow others to devalue us, to dehumanize and mistreat us. Some of us find it funny, so it's no longer funny. And unfortunately, it's often too late by the time. You don't give them the tools, the means. You don't give them all aberration, all excuses and permission to violate you. On the other hand, we have some brothers out here who truly try. They do. And because they can't live up to the hype, they get crumbled. They get put on the system. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That child support. The only system I know in this world that degrade you, make a profit off of you, dehumanize you, and tell you it's okay. That can label you and blackball you from so many things that can make you or help you provide. Imagine you want a system that tells you that you're a deadbeat because you're not paying tithes. That is awesome. That is awesomely despicable. In the first place, you should never have to have anyone to tell you that you should support or love your child. However, we live in a world that is so spiteful. In order for me to live, I gotta take from you, not ask you, take from you. Now, don't get me wrong. As much as I am against child support, I am a huge advocate of supporting your child the best way you can, but not to rob Peter, give to Paul, and then share with Andrea. It doesn't work that way. You got brothers on the run. You got brothers in prison. You got brothers just out here starving. Also, you can get that 1%. You got baby mothers. You got mothers. Let me not say baby mothers. You got mothers who are bitter, emotionally damaged. They have trauma. They have things far more than what you have done to them. But because you were there, you get the outcome. You get the backlash. And unfortunately, you get caught up in the system. Brothers, find your way. Know your worth. Come out of that. Make yourself worthy and allow yourself to heal. Teach your children. Talk to them. Reach out to them. And if they prove themselves to be truly ungrateful, I say with a strong opinion, of course, cruel to be kind. To be cruel, to be kind. To love at a distance. Because if you continue the path of trying to please ungrateful children, disrespectful children, you will find yourself in trouble. Because eventually you will stop caring. You will stop worrying. And ultimately, just walk away. Simply not at all whatsoever. You don't want to be bothered anymore. And there's nothing worse than I see a father shut down from his own blood. Speaking from experience, it's not something to overcome easily because whether you want to realize it or not, you share in the blame, although there may be a certain degree. You share in that demise because a lot of times we tend to get into these females, women, and we don't always have the good intent. However, we don't protect ourselves because if you truly know what you was worth, you wouldn't mix yourself up with something that doesn't feel right, especially if it's not a lifetime energy, but if it's a temporary fix. We find ourselves in some serious shit. However, here comes the theme. We have too much men out here who pretend, who ruins that imagery of a good man. Now, this is not an excuse for women to mistreat them or to have children or have their children just to mistreat them. But we do have some men out there that we would call waste of man. They promote the most wickedest things and they do the most despicable acts. And because you as a man has done so much damage to our empresses that they walk with that pain. So anything the new guy do, they bring all the pain from the first one to the last, which will be you. And unfortunately, you have let your guard so much down that you have planted your seed in a sour soil. And now you're reaping the bitter plant of regret, anger, bitterness, the sour stench of anger. And for whatever reason, you can't find a reason why someone has damaged you in such a way. It's crazy, but it's a reality because this is what people do. You know, unfortunately, it's what people do. There's nothing new about it. There's no explanation. That's what I'm looking for. There's no explanation to say, hey, whether or not this is one avenue why men do this or why women do this. You have stupid people. You have people who do stupid shit. And unfortunately, you can't do nothing about that. People gonna be people. My point is what I'm making is that the qualities of fathers or fatherhood is not perfect, but it's lovely. Imagine this, if you will. Just bear with me for a second. A man who will embrace you, no matter your faults, your shortcomings, no matter how you was born, how you was raised, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, to the color of your back of your hand, to the brass color underneath your feet. Love your shape, your size, your weight, your height, your voice, the tone, even your smell. I want you to imagine this, children. I want you to imagine a man who embraces you who's willing to put himself on the line just to make sure that you reach further than him. Name a man out there in your world, boy, who wants to get with you, or girl who wants you to do the same just because. No expectation, no strings attached. But a father will. His qualities, his reciprocity, his honor, his truth, his justice will always embrace you, even when you're unruly and ungrateful. But when you hurt him and consistently do it, I'm suggesting that he love you from a distance, just so he won't hurt you. I'm not talking about the fathers who turned their back. I'm not talking about the fathers who decided to cow it out. I'm not talking about the waste of skin of man who just dare, just because. I'm speaking of the everyday father who's tries, the everyday father who's getting consistent crucifixion. I'm talking about the father who love you till it hurts. Try his best to love you. I'm speaking about those fathers who work hard just to come home with $2. That is the mother. But as much as I want to curse it out, that is some painful shit. To know that you bust your ass and that the system is taking this money from you just to take the money from your babies and then still label you the deadbeat dad. That's a painful reality to live into, but it's just where we live in. Imagine child support is $1 trillion industry. And depending what state you're going to, man, it might be more. It might be a number I can't even pronounce. So if that's the case, why is that baby starving? Why are you not in a better position? Why are you not invested? You got so much support being taken and offered. Why is our children still stupid? Why do you think J's make them smarter or richer? Why do you think imagery is all about everything? Why are they committing suicide? Why are they hate themselves and love someone else? Because we took away the qualities, the embrace of a father. We like the likes. We have fathers out there that would do these selfies with their children or selfies or pictures. They catch a moment and think that's a lifetime of quality of love and support. That's stupid. Even the stupid know that it's stupid. If you're a father, be a father. And if you can't be a father, move aside, then someone else can do it. Yeah, there's some shame factors at first, but however, stupid is stupid. But if you can't do the job, man, move aside. Step aside and allow someone to help you see what your babies can be, at least until you can be able to do it. That is one avenue. To be truthful, I wouldn't want to do that either. I would rather try my best as much as I can, to the best of my abilities, but that's just me. We have too much of our systems out here, too much trending fathers for rent, out here dropping stacks just to turn around to be with your daughter or your sons, or just keep it in the family. We got too much fathers destroying families because they are broken. They are broken, or they believe that there's no redemption for their actions, for their deeds. They feel unworthy. They feel unworthy because they're not living up to the standards and the hype of the social climate, the code, the code of fathers, the pillars, spirituality, guidance, insight. These are pillars of fatherhood. They have to have insight of probable danger, and what might be danger. You have to have spirituality that you may gain wisdom and insight of what is possible danger or upliftment. You must have the ability to trust, to love, and to do it without restraint. And that dog's still barking. You must have the qualities and the ability to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. You must be the support. You must be the link between you and the outside world, because it's just you and thousands of other influences. We must make this a thing that is homemade, consistent, And we must do this now, like yesterday now. We have to be in this horrific mindset of doing what we got to do. And that means, again, sometimes we have to be cruel to be kind. You have to be hard. Sometimes you have to be stern. You have to be focused, driven, but all in love. You got to be fair and you have to be humble. I beg of you, please be humble, but also reasonable and mindful of how you are delivering the message and what the message should be. It should not be all about how strong you can hit, how strong you can cut with your words. Parents, in general, I say this, I speak to you. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. We have children, they're so confused of who they are, or because we display that we don't know who they are. We put our insecurities, we put our shortcomings, and we make light clouds of it versus making them understand what a tornado and a hurricane and the difference between the two. We don't teach them qualities, we teach them quantities of foolishness. And by the time they get of age, we tell them we can't do nothing for them. We didn't invest in them. We didn't do anything for them. We didn't set them up for the future. Not only because we wasn't taught or we wasn't in a position to do so, but, all that sneakers and the $300 shirt and the $1,000 jackets you're sending them off to, you could have had life insurance for them. You could have policies, trusts, wills for that same amount of money and price. Our priorities are not in order. Our house are not in order. We're too busy doing things for right now, but not longevity. So when you have that temporary father and that temporary man, expect temporary solutions to your temporary mentality of how to deal with things and deal with life. This life shit is no joke. These qualities of a man that which you are destroying, it comes back at you, dude. Don't get me wrong. It comes back at you. However, that is not my message. My message is simple as this. No one enjoys or desires mistreatment or to be played, regardless of the circumstances. However, like I said before, stupid actions result in stupid circumstances. It cannot be overemphasized of how important it is to treat your father or dad with respect and to treat him with dignity. Of course, this is my opinion. His worthiness of praise for his ability to teach, love, and embrace his children should be something of a high honor. And I beg my sisters to try forgive my fathers, forgive the men, or embrace them. Once again, stop using them as livestock bankers and ATMs. Stop taking out your anger, especially when you know better. I mean, there's a lot to this, but I don't really want to go into too much of it because then it turns into mush. Anything, too much of anything is a mush. All I want to know is the fathers have qualities. They're not gone. They're not forgotten. They're just not taught anymore or embraced. My sisters, you are the strongest advocates for Black and brown men. Use that power again, that tongue to embrace us, to love us, make us worthy again. Put back our crowns, straighten our crowns, wash our crowns, make us whole once again. Join me again, guys, for my next episode, Sunday, streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to or get your podcasts from. Jagai, blessed people, fatherhood, father torture, out.